Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing all of my completed Zan Von Zed pages, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, it might seem a little strange that I'm starting with the Coloring Heaven book, but it's because of the page that I completed in here that I took the plunge in purchasing Zan Von Zed coloring books from Amazon, and I have loved the journey ever since. So we'll start with this one, and then we'll go through the 4 coloring books that I have in my collection. So this is the Coloring Heaven Collection Annual 2019. That must mean that this artwork must be in another book that was offered that year. I bought this as a standalone, so I couldn't tell you where that's from, but that's fine. But I did do this page right here. And because I loved the style of the girl, because I loved the artwork, that was really what made me take the plunge and purchase. I think I bought 2 at the first time. I always knew she was going to be in these colors, and then because I wanted this to tie in but not detract, this was kind of like a wash of 2 very similar colors that were light so that she would really stand out. There's some, I believe, yeah, Jelly Roll Metallic in her hair. But otherwise she is a alcohol marker page. But because of her, that made me fall in love with the art style. And so that's the Coloring Heaven Annual 2019 collection. I think there are 4 or 5 of the Zan Von Zed pictures in this book. Now, of all of the Zan Von Zeds, this is probably my least favorite, and it has nothing to do with the art style. It is just because it's not grayscale. Most of the other ones are. But I do have a completed page out of this one, and it's this one right here. So this one is just straight up line art, or very minimal shade lines. And of the 2 styles, I do prefer the one I'll be showing you in just a little bit. But I do know that I enjoy the art style enough that I will be coloring in here. In fact, I'll probably make this a book a priority over some of the other ones that have a lot more pages in it. But this is Ladies of Leisure's 2, the line art. I don't know if this came in a grayscale. If it does, please let me know in the comment section below. This is one of the few ones that I might actually buy doubles of. But this is a coloring book by Zan Von Zed. Now, if you're interested, I'll actually link the Amazon page to Zan Von Zed if I can. I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to sell you these, so there's not going to be an affiliate link, but if I can get her Amazon page where you can see her work, then I'll definitely link you there. This is Ladies of Leisure 4. I didn't stack these in any particular order. It's just basically how it's piled behind me. And so I have several pages because I do like to mark my pages just so that you don't have to see me fumbling to get to the next place. And so this one, I had an idea. I wanted her to be a ghost, and I think some of the elements work, some of the elements don't, but that's okay. I still like her. She's just not one of my favorites. This one right here, I was doing under a limited color palette. I do like to challenge myself in this book, or in these books, with Corey's Alphabet Challenge, where I only use up to 3 alcohol markers that start with the letter of that month. And I think we might have actually even done this on camera together, if I'm not mistaken. And I just showed you my process and how I do layering and how I blend up colors. But very happy with her. In fact, I like her better than I liked this one, just because, and maybe it's because this I'm forced to just kind of be creative. This one I had a picture in my head and it didn't necessarily turn out the same way that I saw it in my head. And so yeah, I definitely like this one better. This one is one of my faves. I did mess up with her eyes, and so I just decided to make them a little bit more alien, as well as just black them out altogether. This I did as a buddy color with my friend Deb from Instagram. I'll link her Instagram page below. She's doing some phenomenal watercolor pages and art pieces of late, and so I would highly recommend, if you're not doing so already, to go ahead and follow her. And with backgrounds, I tend to do one of three things. I'll either add some distress ink to the background, I'll add a quote, or I'll do nothing. Just because I don't feel a need for every page that I do to do a background on. This one was the very first picture that I completed in any of my new Zan Von Zed books. I did pick them up over a period of time. This was another one done for Corey's alphabet challenge. I didn't put the colors on the page. I didn't do that until a few months later, but I think she is hands down one of my favorite pictures that I've ever done. And it's not just because there's only 3 mediums and I had to be very judicious on where I was putting things. I just love the entire composition of this. I love how she's framed. I love how it spills out. I love how she is strong and assertive. I love everything about this picture. And so this hands down is definitely one of my favorites. This was another buddy color with my friend Deb. I did mess up with her eyes. I was going for a particular effect and I messed it up, and so I just put glitter gel pen. That's one of my go-tos. But I did have fun with this, and I do love the color palette on this. This one, another one of my favorites. I was going for a green and red palette because this was done during the month of December 2021. I chose this page as a finding color page for Olga's mushroom weekly prompt that week, and I liked that it brings in some of the Christmas colors, but it does not pull Christmas at all. Maybe because of her outfit, maybe because of the placement of the colors, I'm not sure, but I loved bringing the color element in without actually having it be too Christmassy. I'm not very much of a seasonal hobbyist or whatnot, except Halloween. I love coloring Halloween all year, but otherwise I don't do a lot of pages in any particular seasons. But I absolutely love her. And then this one is if you know the story, then you absolutely see it. But this was another one of those Corey 3-marker challenges, and I think it went really well until this nonsense down here. And if you know, you know. And yeah, that's the last page out of this one. And this is Zan Von Zed's Lady of Leisure 4. This is Ladies of Leisure, I guess number 1. And as you can see, quite a few completed pages here. And so there's this girl here. This was done again for another one of Corey's challenges, and I call them Corey's challenges, and that's Corey from Colorfully Optimistic. She has a monthly alphabet challenge, and I like to do a alcohol marker page and a pencil page every month that goes towards that. And so this is these 3 colors right here. This one I had to be very selective on how I used colors just because I didn't have a lot of choices, but I think she came out fantastic. For any of the 3-marker or 5-pencil challenges, I don't put any additional embellishment on there. So what you see is just straight up marker work. This is another one of my faves. Pink and green definitely is one of my favorite color combos. Plus, because I used a wink of Stella on some of the elements here, to me this just looks like a little bit of lace down here, and I love that effect. And then the background was quite busy if you look at the various elements, but I decided just to color block it in just so that she was the focus and not so much the background. And then this was for another Olga prompt of Weapon, and so I think she's gorgeous. This one again, another buddy color with my friend Deb. This color palette was actually based on some pictures she had completed and put on her gallery wall on Instagram. So this was definitely inspired by way of color palette by Deb. As you can see with the background, there's 2 tones of purple, again, just so that she's the focus. And I was very conscious about that because they are opposing colors, I think, on the color wheel, and so I wanted to make sure that she popped out because the girl is always going to be the focus on these pages, and then the background just kind of receded, although Deb's version of this was absolutely spectacular. And then as you can see, some of the pages just really make me want to look for a quote to put on the page to kind of just bring it all together. This one we did together on my channel. This was done for Lily's random color generator. I was tagged by Rach of Pricey Colors. Any of the channels I've mentioned, I will link either their YouTube or their Instagram pages below. And this was done with 5 colors. So there's 5 alcohol markers on here, and then the secret weapon, which was a wink of Stella. And if you watched that video, you know I did a lot of moaning and groaning as I got various mediums, but I actually think she's gorgeous, and so I'm very happy with that. And because I enjoyed myself with that challenge, I do plan to do that challenge on a monthly basis. I don't know if that was Lily's intent, but I will definitely reference her in every single video, but it's definitely something I like to do on a monthly basis by way of a video on my channel. This one was another one for Corey's alphabet challenge. This one was a little bit of a struggle just because I could only find 2 alcohol markers that started with I, and so I did bring in some intense paints by way of Ionian green, and I think she's beautiful. It's difficult because these were actually even on the same color family, and so I couldn't get contrast that way. So by bringing in a 3rd color, it definitely helped me bring a little bit more interest to the page. And then this is another one of Corey's 3 marker challenges. I'm fully aware that considering or depending on the kind of colors that I can find on a monthly basis, that they might not look realistic. The colors might not go well together. And yet, to me, these become an adventure in the challenge aspect of it. So how can I make these 3 look like more pens than actually are? So I think her hair is probably the truest rendition of that dark blush color right there, but then you can see that there's some different tones in here just by doing some layering. You don't see a lot of this deep green because I didn't want that to detract from the pink, and so I use that to kind of layer on top. So this dark color is actually the pink and the blush colors together. So to me, I love the challenge of it, and that's why I continue to do it. But that's my completed pictures from this, Ladies of Leisure. I guess this is number 1. And this is the newest one to me. I purchased this January 2022, so there aren't that many pages in here, but I think this might be one of my favorites. So this was, you guessed it, another completed buddy color with my friend Deb, and hers absolutely is phenomenal. When I saw this page, I saw her hair as white, so everything that I did off of the page had to kind of play up that aspect of it. So I don't know what this was supposed to be, but I made this like fire. I didn't do the acrylic background until later because I had her framed out like that, but it just looked kind of weird, and so by adding the black and then a little bit of quote, that seemed to make it a little bit better for me. But I love this page. This was another buddy color with my friend Deb. Again, you can see a theme, and this one I also enjoyed rather well. Her skin wasn't supposed to be that dark, but once, because I don't necessarily swatch anything, when a color goes down, then I just kind of run with it. And then I did want to contrast her skin and her hair. The background is done with, it's either done with Neocolor 2s on a palette or Inktense paint pens on a palette, but I love the watercolory kind of stained effect, and then I just wanted to make the border kind of light. But again, another one of my favorite pages. And then this Next to that 3-color pink girl is probably another one of my absolute favorites. And just because I had so much fun with this, and I think, I don't know what it is. I think it's her look. I don't know if it's the pose. I don't know if it's composition. I don't know what it is, but this page is absolutely gorgeous to me. And this was for another one of Olga's Finding Colors, which was Fish. And this, I used some of the high chromatic watercolor paints my brother had bought me for Christmas. She's got some glossy accents on her eyes, and I think it's absolutely stunning. What I did was down here, I have some, I did a base of alcohol marker in everything. And then I did some layering on top with some Wink Estella. I think I used Wink down here in the water. In her hair is the High Chromatics paints that I have. I did kind of play up the white feature here by using a white jelly roll pen, probably my Uniball. And in the background, I did want it to recede far in the background, and that's why it's those kind of muted neutral tones, so that she really just pops off the page. But I absolutely love her. I absolutely love her. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can tell, but I absolutely love her. Anyway, that's the final completed page in my Zan Von Zed collection. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys have any of these books? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.